Hi everybody, it's me, Mrs. Carter, and I have a really special story for you. It's the prettiest book. It's called Inside My Imagination. And this story is by Marta Arteaga and Zuzanna Celej. And every illustration in this book looks like it could be a painting hanging on your wall. It's so pretty. I can't wait to show you. Even the first page, look at all these light bulbs. You know how when you have an aha moment and a little light bulb pops up in your imagination? Is that real or is that your imagination? Well, these little light bulbs have images in them. So we have a butterfly, we have gears, all these different good aha moments, all these ideas. So let's read our story and see if we can get some inspiration. Inside my imagination. One day, I wrote a story, just like the ones Mommy reads to me before I go to sleep. A story with lots of lovely words. One day, when I was reading my story, I breathed in one of those words, and something magical happened. I entered my imagination. I want you to think what your imagination would look like if you could breathe in a word. It was an amazing paradise. There were unicorns and fairies, elves and magicians. They appeared and disappeared whenever I wanted them to. That's so cool. My imagination is like a sea of thoughts that I float and glide over each other. Droplets of bubbles contain my ideas that become real just by looking at them. They swim and swim, trying to solve the mysteries within me. They appear and disappear, silently diving far, far away until out on the horizon are all of the answers, my answers. Look at these bubbles. My imagination is like a land of clouds of different shapes. Have you ever played that game where you lie down on the ground and you look at all the clouds and they become shapes? That's one of my favorite games. I love clouds. And I can imagine this happening in the sky. My imagination is like a meadow full of shooting stars. My imagination is like an enormous music box where I keep everything I see and hear. I can keep the sounds of the earth in a music box, the sea and the rivers, the crickets, the squirrels leaping through the trees, and the whisper of the wind in their leaves on those trees. So pretty. The day I breathed in my story, I could see my imagination and how it worked inside my head. So remember that little aha light bulb moment? Let's get a closer look. It's like gears in her brain. So cool. And if you can see, what does this light bulb look like? I think I just said balloon, right? It kind of looks like a hot air balloon. Do you see it with the strings coming down and the little basket for the bottom of the light bulb? So cool. The thinker of my imagination casts her net into the air and catches my ideas. The more I feed my ideas, the more ideas I have. That's how it works in art, right? The more you keep making and thinking and trying, the more and more it keeps working, right? The letters all fit perfectly into place. Then the words all hold each other's hands. See your little fairy wings? All these little light bulb moments, right? And they cross the bridge of my imagination that connects my worlds, the internal and the external. So internal means inside and external means outside. Look at that. Wow. So pretty. And they are born just like I was. The end. I hope you enjoyed Inside My Imagination. Now I have a special project for you to do. I want you to draw me what you think the inside of your imagination looks like. You could borrow some ideas from this story, right? Some light bulb moments. I saw fairies and doorways and mushrooms, bubbles with butterflies. So these images could inspire you for your imagination. You come up with your own. Elephants in the clouds. She's outside dreaming in a field of sheep with the stars. Dancers and music. If you look closely, there's little squirrels and leaves. Some of this looks unfinished and some of it looks more finished. And that was a purposeful choice by the illustrator, the person that drew the pictures in this book, to make it look like that. So you get to make choices like that in your art too. How do you want your imagination to look like? Is it like a machine? Do you have light bulbs too? Are there animals inside your imagination? Or maybe fish? You decide what your imagination is going to look like, and I want you to draw me a picture of inside your imagination. I can't wait to see. Bye.
Huge shout out to my friends that figured out how we use salt in our art. You watched the Happy Accidents videos, all of them, and you figured out that if you put salt in watercolor paint, it has a really, really cool effect. So huge shout out to Sophia M in grade 2, Audrina S in grade 2, and Isabella M in grade 5. Good job figuring it out. Mwah, mwah, mwah.